at Wembley. They are definitely getting their money's worth today. Let's start off with James Handel, shall we? And James says, Salah and Van Dijk both signed huge contracts this summer and put in Hall of Shame performances today. Craig, will this season show Liverpool and other Premier League teams what happens when you give older players huge contracts?
I think we're jumping off the cliff there with that one. I mean, Salah was a little quiet today. He missed a penalty again, and he had half a chance on the ball that was cut back across to him. But the proof will be in the pudding when the season starts. And Liverpool could ill afford to lose Van Dijk and Mo Salah. So, but it's like everything else, particularly with the Salah situation. Mother Nature catches up with you eventually, and the numbers are going to gradually start to come down because his stats have been incredible. Now, will it be this season, or will the drop-off be big? We don't have that answer, and maybe if there is a drop-off, Ekitike will step up, or Florian Wirtz will step up, or maybe Alexander Isak comes in. So we don't know that, but yeah, talking about these players are finished because of a Community Shield game, that's a bit of a stretch.
Yeah, and also in regards to that, like, they deserve the contracts that they're on.
Yeah.
Look how good they were last season. And for Liverpool winning the Premier League title, it doesn't happen year in, year out. But without those two last season, I don't think they have the opportunity to do that. So yes, they've had a tough start to the season with this one game. But let's see how they react in 60 games' time when they're potentially lifting more trophies.
Stevie?
Well, there weren't many voices at the end of last season telling Liverpool to get rid of either of them. So, as the boy said, after one game, they start on the bandwagon. It's a little early.
What's it that they say? Form is temporary, class is permanent.
There you go.
There you go. Next question now. Stevie, after today's performance, should Liverpool drop the Isak chase and focus on strengthening the back with, I know you're going to love this, a centre-back and a defensive midfielder as well?
I think a centre-back, but apparently Liverpool can afford both. So if you can afford both, then you do it. You know, if you can get a player like Isak, I think you go ahead and do it. And yes, I think definitely they need some backup defensively. But I think, to be honest, more importantly, they need to spend more time together and get acquainted properly with each other, understand each other's games, and understand when and where and how and what, and all the answers to all of these questions in terms of defensively. That just takes time on the field. So I guess the answer to the question is yes.
Craig, what do you think? Should Liverpool drop the chase of Isak and focus on what's going on at the back?
Well, as Stevie just said, they apparently can do both. So if you can do both, why wouldn't you do that? I don't think they need a defensive midfielder. I mean, they've got Endo that can come in as a squad player. Gravenberg played that role last year. McAllister can play that role alongside Gravenberg. And Szoboszlai is a midfielder that does a bit of everything. So I really don't... I mean, should we be talking about Liverpool's midfield? Because they arguably have one of the strongest midfields in European football.
That's fair. I think that's completely fair.
Yeah.
From the defensive side of things, maybe they are a bit light. You know, is Gomez still there? Gomez still at the club?
He is. He was injured. Yeah,
so in reality, like, the cover that they have at the moment, like, who is it? If something was to happen this week in training, who's going to be playing if one of those two don't play? Is it going to be like an Endo? Well, if it's the case, you can fill in for a while, but can it be... Well, yeah, can they be continuous in that position? Probably not. But I think the fact that Stevie said that they can do both, then focus on doing both. If it was a choice, then yeah, you know, make that decision. Because I thought Ekitike did well overall. But I think they are lights up top, and I also think they are lights at the back. And if the money's there, the capability's there, then make sure you get it done.
They've got two players for the full-back positions, haven't they? They've got Bradley and Frimpong, and I think they've still got three on the other side. But they've certainly got Robertson and Kirkes. And then they've got Gomez to come in and fill in if Konate or Van Dijk gets injured. So maybe they're a little threadbare in the centre. They're certainly not threadbare in the full-back positions. I'm not suggesting the full-back positions are not going to be a problem. But they've got enough players in those positions. And again, I think this is people just watching a game and going, oh, it's all going to fall apart. Yeah, but that's not quite the case.
We've got to overreact to the first game. That's what people do, isn't it? But I think a point I would make again from today is in that front line, you know, the changes that they made, they didn't bring on a Chiesa. So Chiesa is still there as like an option, but not really an option the manager wants to use. So as a consequence, you'd imagine, given the fact that they feel like, but it's still not being used, then yes, the striker has to be someone that they bring in as well. And if that's Isak, then, you know, more power to them.
More power to them, indeed. Natum probably shaking in his boots because he's only used to see Manchester City splash all this cash, aren't you, Natum?
You support United, Alexis. Remember that, yeah?
I just had to get that in, Natum. Come on. Okay,
Final
question. Where will Alexander Isak be when Liverpool visit Newcastle on August 25th? In a Liverpool jersey, in the Newcastle reserves, or in the Newcastle lineup? Stevie already says he doesn't think he'll even be at the game, period, especially if he stays at Newcastle. What about you guys?
Well, let's be honest, he's not going to be in the reserves. That's going to be a fact. I think there's more chance of him being in Sociedad reserves, just getting a kickabout. Yeah. So I think it's just going to be MIA. I don't think he's going to be playing for Liverpool. Obviously, Newcastle won't be involved. But I think shortly after that, and probably just that final week of the transfer window, we'll probably see a deal being done then. So I don't think he's going to be involved, that's all.
My sort of head says Newcastle could dig in here.
But it's still another week to go after that, though.
But maybe that's kind of what you did in the old days, and it doesn't happen so much now.
I think it's a deadline day signing.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's going to get a lot messier between now and then, but he is going to end up a Liverpool player as long as Newcastle can get a replacement. I think if they don't think they're going to get a replacement, I think they just say no, we're not selling him, and he stays at Newcastle.
I'll tell you what's tough there though. Him sounding like he wants to leave is not something that the fans will engage with, and in that part of the world,
and he's got to go back. He's got to go back and play.
So I think that bridge is pretty much burned from my perspective. So I think he will be going to Liverpool, but he will not be playing for Newcastle come September, I don't think.
All right, we'll leave it at that. But before